Right, good evening, everybody. It says I'm live, so I trust I am. It's Wednesday night, it's 8 o'clock, and it's time for Nick's 99th quiz of, I was going to say the year, but probably I should have said the past year. So good evening, everybody. Anyway, welcome to the quiz. We'll be kicking off in approximately 15 minutes at 1:15 the hour. So until then, you'll listen to my normal drivel for the next 15 minutes to keep you all awake and raring to go. Now, as usual, tonight we will have 6 rounds of general trivia to keep you all interested. Before we go any further, there was right in the last round last week, I had made a mistake with one of the questions, which I did a little bit of research on. That was the question about the university which had the most Nobel prizes, and I'd given the answer as Cambridge University, which clearly since about the year 2000 they've been overtaken, unfortunately, by Harvard University. So the answer should really have been Harvard University. So I very much appreciate all those that sent me an email or something about that. However, it has been corrected and noted, so very sorry about that one. Perhaps I should always make, although questions like that perhaps a little bit tricky. So apologies to PRS, I think, and Peter Robinson especially, who both brought it to my attention. The answer last week should have been Harvard in that last round, but never mind. Let's not worry about that. That was only a point between friends. What does that make any difference? Well, it did actually make a difference to PRS, but never mind. So anyway, let's just see who's joining us tonight. Right, we've got Andrew and Jane Lewis. Good evening to Andrew and Jane. Lovely day. I hope you've been out today on the in sunny Yelvertoft, especially this afternoon as the weather got better. A little bit dull this morning, but when the cloud had disappeared, we had a lovely afternoon with some great sunshine. Mike Yates has just joined us. Good evening, Mike. I trust you've got your team together tonight, and hope all is well with you and you're keeping fit. Martin Davis has also just joined us. So good evening, Martin and Tina from a sunny Dunchurch, I'm sure. PRS have just signed in. So good evening, PRS. Great to see you. Hope all is well with the team and everybody. Mick and Bev have just joined us. Good evening, Mick. Evening, Bev. Hope all is well with the pair of you. George has just said, hey, Nick, happy Wednesday to you. Well, it's happy Wednesday to you as well, George. Hope all is well with you. Penny Graham's just joined us. She's saying, good evening, Nick and Lydia. Well, Lydia has just walked in. She's raring to go, aren't you, Liz? She's looking at me in a rather strange manner, but never mind. I think she is, really. Oh, dear. Sorry, what am I doing? We won then. Yes, PRS. Let's not just go on too much. You were joint winners last week after a correction of the scores, although you haven't got the one I got right. To be fair in my defence, I did say since 1904. And to be fair, Harvard actually didn't win a Nobel Prize until 1906, when Theodore Roosevelt won a Peace Prize. Not surprisingly, in 1906. So there we have it. So you partly got it right and partly got it wrong, but never mind. I shouldn't ask daft questions like that in the first place, should I, really? But there we have it. Singers are winning the stars. Same Matthew. Right, Harry, Julian, Ian and his bottle of Shiraz have just joined us. Giles Brown's just shown us. Good evening, Giles. Hope all is well with you. And you're keeping well. Raring to do a bit of quizzing tonight? That sounds great to me. Oh dear, I'm reading a silly PRS joke. We won't go there. Where are we going to? Robin saying, oh, I'm going to worry about it. Nick, I'm really going to worry about it. I'm sure you're not. Ian Miller is just saying, good evening, Nick and Lydia. Jane and Graham Gifford's just joined us saying, good evening, Nick and Lydia. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day. Unfortunately, I haven't put any St. Patrick's questions in, but never mind. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Don't know whether anybody's managed to get themselves some Guinness or whatever. I haven't. I don't like this stuff personally, but there you go. But to all those that celebrate St. Patrick's Day in a big way, I hope you've had a good day all the same. Clive and Janet and the teasers have just joined us. Happy St. Patrick's Day, they're saying. May the leprechauns behave themselves. Well, we'll see. Martin Davis just said, we links are now linked up and ready to do our worst. Excellent. Well, let's just go on to some of last week's scores, because in the lead last week, Well, we might have had a count back, considering I'm giving PRS an extra point. Joint winners then, let's say last week we've got split the difference and the PRS on a fantastic 63 points. So well played, both those teams. In second place, we had the Quizzy Rascals and the Wheat Links, both on a fantastic 61 points. So well played, the Wheat Links and the Quizzy Rascals. Not far behind them, we have Mick and Bev Roberts on 60. The Teasers were on 60. Home Alone 6 were on 60 points last week, with Don Quixote's B team on a fantastic 59 points. I thought that was splendid. Famous 5 came in with 58. And then we had a few, obviously, on the 57 mark with Jed and Tracy, Pick and Mix, Mike Yates, and Sarah and Russ, our friends from Worcester. Then we had Ian, Harry, and Julian Ian and his bottle of Shiraz on 56 points, along with Carol Green. And then we had the Giffords on 54. And there were various teams beneath that. But never mind, let's not go that far down the quiz table. Right then, as far as tonight's rounds are concerned, that's more important. We have got 6 rounds to keep going tonight, starting off with Wednesday the 17th. Wednesday the 17th, pretty straightforward tonight. Round number 2 is a music round. Something to do with music anyway. Round number 3 is a connections round. Round number 4 tonight will be an initial letter link, where 9 general knowledge questions where I ask you to rearrange when we get to number 10 and spell out something. Round number 5 is a round on famous people. Anybody that's been in the news this last week or last few weeks or last year or last century, you get the idea. Something to do with famous people. And finally, we've got a general trivia round to finish this off. A general trivia round. Now, wait a minute. Home Alone 6 are saying, happy birthday, John O'Rourke. Is it really John O'Rourke's birthday? Well, we've got to say happy birthday to that. So, John, wait a minute. You've got to be a bit younger than me, surely. Not much, obviously. But what? Quite a bit younger. Oh, all right. Are you going to tell us how old you are today, John? Is it today your birthday, or is it tomorrow or whatever, is it this week? You're saying happy birthday, John O'Rourke, so I presume it's today. So happy birthday to John O'Rourke of the famous 5, of course. Wait a minute, I'll tell you what. I'll let my wife just get it on my phone for me. And get me a birthday song so I can say, I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to, otherwise I'll upset people. I will play it, however, over my thing. Now, if anybody else, by the way, has got their birthdays this week or coming up or just missed them, let me know. Just post it in there. Do embarrass everybody if it's somebody else's birthday that you know. Yes, he says 56 today. Well, happy birthday to John O'Rourke, and 56 today. That's brilliant. Georgie Lambers has just joined us from the Yorkies. So Georgie and Rory are raring to do battle. He's just joined us as well. Wait a minute. Here we go. This is John, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, John. Keep the quizzing up anyway. 56 years, blimey. Well, I'm a little bit older than that. I won't let you all know exactly how old I am, but clearly a bit more senior than John, but never mind. Right then, with 5 minutes to go, he says thank you. I hope you've had a great day anyway, John. Now, is anybody else daft enough to tell me it's their birthday as well? You'll have to let me know. There's got to be 1 or 2 of you that are close this month. It's my wife's birthday next Monday, but we'll wait until then. We'll wait until Sunday to give her a happy birthday, I'm sure. I might even sing that one because that'll really embarrass her. Never mind, right? Pick and Mix have just joined us, so we've got a good spread of teams tonight from all over the country, so it's great to see so many people in. Paula Flynn is speaking in some Irish dialect. She's saying, Binechti na fili padrigin oriba. Thanks, Paula, for that one. Wonderful. That's what I like to see. People getting into the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. Fantastic. Ian Miller's just joined. He says, Paddy's been sat at the bar for 3 hours now trying to figure out why his sister has 4 brothers whilst he has only 3. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Michelle's just joined us. So Michelle, Charlie and James are raring to go. And myself already. Hope everyone is well, she's saying. Well, yes, we're all happy and raring to go. Tonight, I'm starting tonight on a very low gravity beer. Well, I say low gravity. It's reasonably low gravity. Sarah's just saying hello from Worcester, by the way. So good evening, Sarah, Russ, James and Joe. Are you full team tonight? Great. Let's see how we fare tonight. Now, do remember to hit the like button if you like the quizzes. If I can get more likes, it does mean my standings are up on YouTube. It means you can search for me a bit faster and all that baloney, but never mind. What's that? Robin just said, I think you just told Paula that her llama was expecting an ambulance. That's about right, yes. Well, perhaps we could say it phonetically. Yeah, enough of that one. Right. I'm sure it didn't come out like that, did it, Paula? You'll have to let me know. Historians have concluded that Shakespeare used an early form of pencil to write his latest scripts. Sadly, they still can't answer the eternal question, to be or not to be. Oh, great. Very, very witty. Very, very witty. I like that one, Ian. That's a very witty joke to start the evening off. So do feel free to put your jokes in. More than welcome. Right, we've got 50 people now online, raring to go. I've got 17 likes so far. Anybody else that does the quiz regularly, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's the easiest way because you do get a one-off on my quiz webpage on Facebook, which links you directly to the quiz. It saves you having to search anywhere else. So do feel it's easy to do to subscribe. You hit the subscribe button. You don't get any other things except my quizzes, I suppose. So that's about it. Right, what's everybody been up to this afternoon? Such a shame we couldn't go down to a nice little country pub, wasn't it? We took the two grandchildren out this afternoon to Wright and Paul's and took them for miles, walking for miles this afternoon. Tried to wear them out. In fact, we did. They both fell asleep in the car on the way back, which was good. Gave us at least half an hour, well, 15 minutes respite. Oh dear. Both me and the wife are suffering with bad backs this evening from carting them about, but that's what you do with grandkids, isn't it? You end up with aches and pains everywhere. You wish you hadn't bothered, but never mind. Right then, I'll quickly run through those rounds again, and then we'll just about get started. We've only got 3 minutes before we kick off tonight. I hope the sound quality is okay. For those that don't know, I've invested in a new microphone. Didn't cost an awful lot, but having played back some of my previous videos, this certainly has made a big improvement to the sound quality. And I was only considering a new camera as well to see whether we can up the quality. Obviously, I know it's hard to improve the quality, the video quality, but we'll see. Might just have to invest in a better camera as well. So we'll see. We'll see. Depends, of course, on your connections as well. You can't download high content video if you haven't got a good. What's that? Am I pixelating? That's what. See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you haven't got a good connection, one end, you'll be in trouble. Right then, let me just go through those rounds again before we get going. We're starting off with Wednesday the 17th. Wednesday the 17th. Take the initial letters of each of those letters of the word Wednesday, followed by the two numbers 1, 7, followed by the TH, as in 17th. There are 13 possible answers or answers to the first 13 questions. Round number 2 is a music round, 10 loosely related questions about music. Round number 3 is a connections round, where there are 9, I can't remember whether, I think there's 9 just general knowledge questions tonight, where number 10 asks you for the connection between the previous 9 answers. Round number 4 tonight is an initial letter link. Round number 5 tonight is something to do with famous people. And then finally, we've got general trivia to finish us off. That's round 6, general trivia, just 10 general knowledge trivia questions to try and sort us all out. Right, Robin's just said, I walked down to B&M near Tesco's. They had some Wickwa beers. So just the B&M in town. But it was a nice afternoon. Excellent. That's what I like to see. Well worth. I haven't had Wickwa for a while, I have to say. Been to the brewery once, I'm sure. Can't even remember where it is, but it's south of here, I'm sure. What's that? Ian Miller, Lost for Centuries, Volume 2 of the Irish Dancing Manual has finally been rediscovered. It's titled How to Move the Arms. Oh, dear. All right, Ian. Nice one. Denise has just joined us. Good evening, Denise. You all right? Raring to go tonight's quiz. Right, there's 53 people concurrently online at the moment. varying up and down a little bit, but hopefully we've got a stable connection tonight. We'll see. WhatsApp, Facebook, had to go to Coventry, so visited the new home bargain store, Eats Colossal. Wow. Well, I don't know where in Coventry that is, but never mind. I suppose home bargains are open up as everything else. Right then, it is now 2015, so let's get going with the quiz. Now, as everybody's done this quiz before, you know the score. We start off with the initial letters of the word Wednesday, followed by the numbers 21TH. Okay, so the first answer has got to start with a W. It's the name of a city I'm after, so listen carefully. It's not that tricky. The Battle of Powick Bridge, if I've said it right, just south of which city is considered by some historians to be the first major skirmish of the English Civil War. So the Battle of Powick Bridge, just south of which city is considered by some historians to be the first major skirmish of the English Civil War. Powick, is that right? Oh, well done, Sarah. Clearly you know where it is. Now, do remember the city starts with the letter W, and as Sarah's corrected me, and she's from this area, Powick Bridge. Oh, that sounds more like it. Well done. I knew I should have asked you for pronunciation of that. Right, question number 2. Another one. Here we go. What forest in Essex was the scene of a fight between rival East End gangs from which Peter Gabriel took inspiration to write a song which was included on the album Selling England by the Pound? So Sarah says pow and Russ says po. So Powick or Powick. Right, okay. So question number 2 again. What forest in Essex was the scene of a fight between rival East End gangs from which Peter Gabriel took inspiration to write a song which was included on the album Selling England by the Pound? Question number 3, starting with the letter D. It's a 2-word answer. Which nursery rhyme character went to Gloucester in a shower of rain? He stepped in a puddle right up to his middle and never went there again. So which nursery rhyme character went to Gloucester in a shower of rain? He stepped in a puddle right up to his middle and never went there again. That starts with the letter G. Question number 4. The answer can either be a singular or a plural, I don't mind. Starting with the letter N, derived from the Greek word for kidney. What are the basic units of structure in the kidney? They're used to separate water, ions, and small molecules from the blood and filter out wastes and toxins. So derived from the Greek word for kidney, what are the basic units of structure of the kidney? They're used to separate water, ions, and small molecules from the blood and filter out wastes and toxins. You need your scientist for that one, or somebody that's been doing a little bit of A-level biology, I suppose. Something like that. Question number 5. David Cameron, Harold Macmillan, and Boris Johnson all attended which independent boarding school for boys near Windsor in Berkshire? So David Cameron, Harold Macmillan, and Boris Johnson all attended which independent boarding school for boys near Windsor in Berkshire? I'll accept a 1-word answer for that. Although if you really want to be smart, you can put 2 words down. Totally up to you. Question number 6, starting with the letter S, which makes this a bit easier for you. Which Mr. Man is the main protagonist of the 10th book in the series by Roger Hargreaves? He lives in Nonsense Land and wins an annual contest by painting all the leaves on the trees green. So question 6 again. Which Mr. Man is the main protagonist of the 10th book in the series by Roger Hargreaves? He lives in Nonsense Land and wins an annual contest by painting all the leaves on the trees green. Although I would have thought it would be more nonsensical if he'd painted them blue, but never mind. Question number 7. This starts with the letter D. Which motor vehicle manufacturer became popular in the 1970s with models including the Cherry and the Sunny, at a time when the British motor industry was plagued by strikes and issues with build quality and reliability? So question 7 again. Which motor vehicle manufacturer became popular in the 1970s with models including the Cherry and the Sunny, at a time when the British motor industry was plagued by strikes and issues with build quality and reliability? Question number 8. It's a 2-word answer, even if it is a different language. What term means to be sprinkled with breadcrumbs and cheese, or both, and browned? The phrase literally means by grating in French. So what term means to be sprinkled with breadcrumbs and cheese, or both, and then browned? The phrase literally means by grating in French. Question number 9 starts with the letter Y, which makes this a bit easier. Which Boris took office on the 10th of July 1991 after winning 57% of the popular vote in the democratic presidential elections for the Russian Republic? So question 9 again. Which Boris took office on the 10th of July 1991 after winning 57% of the popular vote in the democratic presidential elections for the Russian Republic? Do you remember that starts with the letter Y? Just a 1-word answer I'm after. Obviously his surname. Question number 10 is a bit more of a serious history question. I thought I could have made this a lot easier, but I didn't. I thought, we'll see, there's got to be a few people know this. In what year of the 17th century was the gunpowder plot, a failed assassination attempt against King James I? That kind of rules it, that narrows it down a bit because he wasn't on the throne that long. So in what year of the 17th century was the gunpowder plot, a failed assassination attempt against King James I? Right, question number 11 is a 2-digit answer starting with a 7, so you can have a stab at this one, even if you don't know it. In the world of bingo calling nicknames, what number is called another 39 steps? So question number 11, in the world of bingo calling nicknames, what number is called another 39 steps? I'm sure that's not too tricky to work out. Question number 12. This starts with the letter T. It's a 3-word answer with a name meaning land of fire. What is an archipelago at South America's southernmost tip, which is shared by Chile and Argentina? So question number 12 again, with a name meaning land of fire. What is an archipelago at South America's southernmost tip? It's shared by Chile and Argentina. I nearly said China there. It's just as well I didn't. And finally, question number 13. This bit of geography and history, this one. Starting with the letter H, which makes this a bit easier. The Tonton Macoute were the dreaded parliamentary police formed in 1959 in which country? So question number 13, the Tonton Macoute were the dreaded parliamentary police formed in 1959 in which country? Right, there we have it, everybody. 13 questions. And if you look at each of your answers, they should spell out the word Wednesday, the 17th, if we're lucky, Wednesday the 17th. Right, let's see how far we all fare with that. I think the first round, they were good, just a general mix of general knowledge to get you going with that lot, just to warm you up a bit. One or two tricky ones, I know, but not too particularly tricky. So let's have a look. The Battle of Powick or Powick Bridge, depending on which one of our friends we want to take the actual words from. This was the battle of the first major skirmish of the English Civil War, although some people would say it was the Battle of Southern, perhaps. This was in Worcester, just south of Worcester. Number 2, I was after the Battle of Epping Forest, the Battle of Epping Forest. Apparently some rival gangs that had beat up in Epping Forest. It was in the Times, apparently, but Peter Gabriel couldn't find it when he came to research it. Question number 3 was Dr. Foster, of course, that went to Gloucester. Dr. Foster. Number 4, it's a nephron I was after, a nephron or nephrons, derived from the Greek word for kidney. Number 5 was Eton College. Eton College, I will accept Eton, that's fine. Number 6, the Mr. Man I was after was Mr. Silly, of course. Number 7, the motor vehicle manufacturer I was after was Datsun, of course. Datsun became very big in the UK in the 70s. Number 8, bike rating in French means au gratin. Au gratin. Number 9, I was after Boris Yeltsin. Number 10 was 1605 was the gunpowder plot, of course. 1605. You'll have to put that one to memory if you couldn't remember that. Number 11, another 39 steps. Well, if you double it up, I presume it meant after the first one, it's 78, of course. Another 39 is 78. Number 12 was Tierra del Fuego. Tierra del Fuego, Land of Fire. And finally, number 13, the Tonton Macoute, the dreaded parliamentary police force formed in Haiti. Haiti. So there we have it. That's after round 1. Let's have some scores in, see how we're all faring. I'm sure we've got 1 or 2 13s lurking there, but we'll see. I expect an 11 or a 12 is a pretty good score on that round. So do feel free. Let's get the scores in, see how we're all faring after round 1. Right then, Sarah, Russ, James and Joe started off very respectably on a nice 12 points. We've got Rory and Georgia on 11 for the Yorkies. Jed and Tracy are on 13 points. The Teasers are on 13. The Famous Five are on 13. Ian Miller started with an 11. Jane and Graham Gifford on 12. Got Wheat Links on 13. The Quizzy Rascals on 13. Michelle and Charlie and James on 12. We've got Harry, Judy, Ian and his Bottle of Shrouds on 13 points. Home Alone 6 are on 13. PRS are on 12 points. Chris Pickard. Good evening, Chris. 13 points tonight. Giles is saying 7. Well, not a great start there, Giles. Never mind. Are you on your own tonight, or have you got a team with you? You'll have to let me know. Bigger Mixer on 12. Penny Graham's on 12 points. Mick Roberts on 13. Denise is saying guest hungry for 13, so she's on 12. Well, that's a shame. The Tonton Macoute, I think it was Papadoc Chevalier, wasn't it? Whatever his name, I can't remember. I think that's right. Split the difference on 13 points. The Booby Prize girls are on 11. Mike Yates started with a good 10. Giles, yep, team of 1. Wife has fallen asleep. Blimey, it's a bit early, isn't it? Never mind. Anyway, great to see you. Anyway, Giles, don't worry about that. It's the taking part that counts. That's what I keep telling everybody. And you might fare better with round number 2, which is a music round, So then everybody, eyes down, look in. We've got quite a few teams on 12s and 13s. So very well done, everybody, so far. Round up to a music round. It starts off with a tricky one to start you off, but it sounds trickier than it is. So well. Right. Question 1, listen carefully. In music, solfege is a method used to teach oral skills, pitch and sight reading in Western music, where syllables are tied to a specific pitch. What syllable is used for C natural? That's a lot easier than you think. So in music, solfege is a method used to teach oral skills, pitch and sight reading in Western music, where syllables are tied to a specific pitch. What syllable is used for C natural? I could have given you a much bigger clue for that one, but I'm not going to. Might be easier to read the question than rather than me read it to you. That's for all you music experts. Those that have studied music to O level should know that one. Or watched plenty of films. Sorry, I'm not going to give it away. Question number 2. Which instrument did jazz legend Charlie Bird Parker play? So question number 2 again. Which instrument did jazz legend Charlie, known as Bird Parker, play? Is that the heating on? Is it hot water? Shouldn't be on. Must have come on and not gone off. Oh, I'll just turn it off. It's all right. Question number 3. Just when you thought they couldn't get any harder. Released in 1970. What was the title of the Beatles' final studio album? I'm sure it's one that most of you will have had in your time. Unless if you ever had Beatles albums, you would have had this one, I'm sure. So released in 1970. What was the title of the Beatles' final studio album? I suppose it's a very appropriate title as well, which may help you. Question number 4 is a bit of a clue in this one, but you'll have to listen carefully. In March 2021, that's this week or last week, Winston Marshall announced he was taking time away as the lead guitarist and banjo player in which British pop group after criticism he received for praising a controversial right-wing writer. Something you might have read about this week or last week. So March 2021, Winston Marshall announced he was taking time away as the lead guitarist and banjo player. That helps a lot. There's not many bands with banjos in them. In which British group after criticism he received for praising a controversial right-wing writer. Although, to be fair, I don't know who he was criticising. Although somebody's going to tell me later. Right, now that is an exceptionally funny joke. Well done, Roy. You should write them. I was watching the Bermuda Philharmonic Orchestra the other day when the guy on the triangle suddenly disappeared. I like that. That's very clever. I asked Paddy for the quickest way to cook. Are you walking or driving? Asked. I replied, driving. Ah, yes, he said. That'll be the quickest. They're both good jokes, those. I like that one. Very, very, very clever, Roy. I like that. Bermuda Triangle. Oh dear, oh dear. And well, keeping him well in music round. That's what I like to see. Question number 5. Used to teach children the letters of the alphabet song uses the same tune as which well-known lullaby? Surely this is one you play regularly in your car to your grandchildren, don't you? Like us? Maybe not. So question 5 again. Used to teach children the letters of the alphabet song uses the same tune as which well-known lullaby? The good reason I use that is probably because it's not copyrighted, I suppose. What's that? Oh, my daughter knew that one. Lydia knew that one, so I hope you all know that one. Question number 6. This 2-word answer. Which singer's breakthrough came in 1997 when she sang over the phone on the TV show This Morning, and the following year released her debut album called Voice of an Angel? Certainly haven't heard much of her recently, I have to say, but which singer's breakthrough came in 1997 when she sang over the phone on the TV show This Morning, and the following year released her debut album called Voice of an Angel? I don't think she was very old either, to be fair. How old do you reckon she was, Liz? Only a child. Given too many clues there, but never mind. She was fairly young. Question number 7. This is one the lads in the pub are always talking about or go to. Originally conceived as a follow-up to the Monsters of Rock festival, what is the name of the music festival that was first held at Donington Park in Leicestershire in 2003 when it was headlined by Audioslave and Iron Maiden? Voice of an Angel, a Welsh miner. Oh dear. Probably about right, that, Ian. So originally conceived as a follow-up to the Monsters of Rock festival, what is the name of the music festival that was first held at Donington Park in Leicestershire in 2003 when it was headlined by Audioslave and Iron Maiden? I often used to hear about this at the pub quiz on the Sunday night because they'd all been there on the Saturday night. I used to stagger in the pub looking very ill after the night before and whittling on about this festival they'd just been to. Question number 8, listen carefully. Known for his falsetto vocals, what is the stage name of the singer Francesco Stephen Castelluccio, who became frontman for the Four Seasons in 1960? Castelluccio, that's better. So question 8 again. Known for his falsetto vocals, what is the stage name of singer Francesco Stephen Castelluccio, who became frontman for the Four Seasons in 1960? I'm sure Rory and Georgia will know that one straight away. Not? Maybe? Maybe. What she said? I don't know what? Oh, a vaccine. All right. Question number 9. Which instrument features on the front cover of the Dire Straits album Brothers in Arms? Ian's just put castrated Lucio. Oh dear. So question number 9 again. Which instrument features on the front cover of the Dire Straits album Brothers in Arms? I'm going to change 10 a bit. I'm going to make it a bit easier. And finally, question number 10. In the lyrics of a well-known Dolly Parton song, who has flaming locks of auburn hair with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green? So question 10 again. In the lyrics of a well-known Dolly Parton song, who has flaming locks of auburn hair with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green? What's flagious? But how do you make a bandstand? Take away the chairs. That's fair. Oh dear, dear, dear. Can we go to the pub if we call it a vigil? Possibly. Not far off now, Clive. A few weeks, we'll all be back, you needn't worry. Although I'm a bit concerned that they reckon that the rollout of the virus might slow down next month. We'll see. They seem pretty good at the vaccine, even, not the virus. Rollout of the virus. Rollout of the vaccine. Let's hope not. Let's hope it keeps on track. Show those Europeans what we're up about or what we're doing. Right, there were 10 general knowledge questions on that, and it was very tenuous questions on music. I hope that wasn't too hard for you all, but never mind. I'm sure you could have had a stab at some of those. So let's go back to number 1, see who's got number 1 right. Number 1, something to do with Julie Andrews, of course. In music, solfege is a method used to teach all skills, pitch and sight reading, where syllables are tied to a specific pitch. What syllable is used for C natural? That's doe, as in doe, a deer, a female deer. Ray, of course, being the next one up, the note D. So doe the deer, of course, that was what I was after for number 1. Natural C, which is middle C on the piano. Number 2, which instrument did jazz legend Charlie Bird Parker play? He played the saxophone. Well done if you got that. Could have easily put trumpet, but you didn't. Number 3, released in 1970. What was the title of the Beatles' final studio album? That was Let It Be. Let It Be, I suppose that's an appropriate title. Number 4, in the March this month, Winston Marshall announced he was taking Tom away as the lead guitarist and banjo player. That kind of gives it away. It was Mumford and Son, Mumford and Son. Number 5, of course, that the alphabet song. The tune is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Twinkle, twinkle, little twinkle, twinkle, little star. No, I won't sing it just in case I'm in trouble. Number 6, A Voice of an Angel, of course, was Charlotte Church. I was after Charlotte Church. What's that? Faze just said, I'm addicted to collecting vintage Beatles albums. I need help. Dear. Very clever, Faye. Keep them coming. Question number 7, that festival I was after, which was originally called Monsters of Rock, or the follow-up, it's now called Download Festival. Download Festival. Well done if you got that. Number 8, of course, it was Frankie Valli that became the frontman of the Four Seasons. Number 9, the front cover of the Dire Straits album, Brothers in Arms, has a very big silver guitar on the front, as I recall. And finally, number 10, of course, it was Jolene. Jolene I was after, and that well-known Dolly Parton song, Flaming Locks of Auburn Hair with Ivory Skin and Eyes of Emerald Green. That was Jolene. Well done if you worked that out. Right then. They actually weren't as hard as you thought, were they? Well, perhaps they were. As I was reading them out, I thought these sound a bit tricky, but never mind. Let's hope and see how you've done. Right, George and the Rabbits have moved on a fantastic 20. Jed and Trace are on 20. We've got the Teasers on 23. The Weak Links have moved on to 21. Very strong there, Martin. We are in Miller's moved on to 20. PRS have moved on to 21. Home Alone 6, 23 points. Ian saying the guitar is called the National, is it? I know there's a special name for that thing. It looked a bit like, all right, a National. Graham J. Gifford have moved on to 18. Paula Flynn Lewis, 25 for the Gwizzy Rascals. That's a bit high, isn't it? I thought it was only 13. It was only possible 23 anyway, but never mind. Mick Roberts has now moved on. Mick and Bev are on to 20. We've got Michelle and James, on 20 points. We've got Ian, Harry, Julie, Ian, his bottle of Shraz. They've added 10 to their points. They're now on 23 points. Giles is going 10. Eek. Never mind. 10's great. Well done, Giles. Pennygraham's on 17. Pick and Mix have moved on to 21. And we've got Denise. She's moved on to 21. Guest Rockabye Baby for song. Oh, what a shame. Mike Yates is on 17. Chris Pickard's moved on to 20. That's a great score. So well played. Chris, Paula Flynn, she said 22. Sorry for the quizzy rascal. I thought you got something wrong there, but never mind. Well played, Paula. Good score all the same, 22. So split the difference on 22. But we've got split the difference 23. We've got the quizzy rascals 22. Pick and Mix on 21. We've got Home Loan 6, 23. PRS 21. The Weak Links 21. And the Teasers on 23. So some fantastic scores. In fact, anybody in the 20s at this stage doing really well. We've only had 2 rounds. So round number 3 is basically a connections round. 9 questions. They're all general knowledge plus a final question asking for a connection between the previous 9 answers. So we're just after a connection between the previous 9 answers. So listen carefully. According to the nursery rhyme Monday's Child, Friday's child is loving and what else? So according to the nursery rhyme Monday's Child, Friday's child is loving and what? If it's any help, it's a one-word answer I'm after. Loving and beautiful. You got the idea. Question number 2. This is about last year, if you remember it. February 2020 was the wettest February in England and Wales since records began due to rainfall caused by 2 storms. The first of these was named Ciara, or Kyra. Not quite sure how to pronounce it because it was pronounced by the Irish Met Office, as far as I can remember. What was the boy's name beginning with the letter D given to the other? So question number 2, February 2020 was the wettest February in England and Wales since records began due to rainfall caused by 2 storms. The first of these was named Ciara or Kyra. What was the boy's name beginning with the letter D given to the other? Storm. You may remember it as soon as I say it. What's that? You're still reading out the scores on my feed. Ooh, am I? What's that? Don't mean that. I'm wired in, yeah. I've got a fast connection. Try, Jackie, you could try just refreshing. There is a refresh button somewhere, isn't there? I expect you're delayed somehow. There is a refresh button on the bottom of the page, isn't there, somewhere? There's a what? Live button. Live button. Is that the one you got to hit? Live button, right. Jackie, try hitting the live button. Probably bring you back up to speed. Sometimes when there's a dropout, it delays the feed so you can get 15, 20 seconds. It's a bit like watching the football. when it's on some live feed, then it disappears, you come back, they've scored a goal. Oh, great. Time for a refreshment. You're right. Time for a refreshment. The live button on the bottom of the screen somewhere. Hit that one. I haven't got one of those, but you lot have. Right, Jackie, are you back up with us now or not? Quickly put it in the chat. I will mention question number 3. Right then, listen carefully. A well-known fable by Aesop, teaching of how someone who constantly lies will not be believed, even when they tell the truth, is called The Boy Who Cried What? So, a well-known fable by Aesop, teaching of how someone who constantly lies will not be believed, even when they tell the truth, is called The Boy Who Cried What? I used to know one or two people in the pub that were very good at that. I have been refreshing, but seem to go further back each time. There's not a lot I can do. Is it the chat that's getting behind, or is it the actual questions that are getting behind, Jackie? I'm still reading out the scores. You could always end the stream and just join us again, because then it will join live. If you just end, you could try ending the screen, Jackie, ending the stream even, and then just rejoining the thing. It will still be live, or it should be. Seems a bit strange going further backwards. Never mind. Right, here we go then. Question number 4. A long-running slogan used to advertise a particular brand of confectionery asked, do you love anyone enough to give them your last what? So a long-running slogan used to advertise a particular brand of confectionery asked, do you love anyone enough to give them your last what? Jackie's chat seems to be coming up in the right time, doesn't it? So what you're saying is the chat's coming up in the right time, but I'm coming up in the wrong time. I could just have a break and let Jackie catch up somewhere. Yes, question 3, question mark. Never mind. I'll go steady and we'll see. Oh, bother. I thought I got rid of that one, but never mind. Question number 5. What is the one-word stage name of Robert Bell, who was the lead singer in a group that had 7 UK top hit singles, including Ladies' Night and Get Down on It, sorry. Get Down on It. You must remember that. Yeah, we're now on connections. Question 5. You're right. So what is the one-word stage name of Robert Bell, who was the lead singer in a group that had 7 UK top hit singles, including Ladies' Night and Get Down on It? You remember that? Get down on it. Oh, sorry. I won't sing. Promise, Robin. I'll try not to sing. I've got it on my mind now. It's your commentary. I think I'm okay now. So my commentary was behind the chat. Not synced properly somewhere, Jackie. Never mind. Question number 6. Listen carefully. What word for a person who rides racehorses competitively comes from a Scottish male name that is also used as a general word to mean boy? So what word for a person who rides racehorses competitively comes from a Scottish male name that is also used as a general word to mean boy? You can throw one over, I'm sure. Question number 7. Question number 7. I'll help you, Jackie, when we get there. I'll go back over them again. Just carry on. I'm fine. Excellent. The board game Frustration was based on which other classic 4-letter board game? So the board game Frustration was based on which other classic 4-letter board game? Right, we've got any more jokes out there? I think Jackie's beginning to catch up with us now. Jackie is... Oh, God, I heard that. Excellent. Is that what the question or the answer? Could be my new microphone, Jackie. Maybe it doesn't like your computer or something. Oh, dear. Question number 8. Listen carefully. Number 8. Common, periungual, and plantar are all common types of what growths? So common, periungual, and plantar are all common types of what growths? Lydia's written it down, even if I couldn't pronounce it very well. Periungual. Now, do remember, we're looking for a connection between all these previous answers. So look carefully at all your answers. Write them all down. Look carefully. See whether you can see some kind of connection in there. Question number 9. What word goes before wall to give the name commonly used in the West to refer to an ancient limestone wall in Jerusalem, which is also known as the Western Wall and is generally considered the holiest place for Jews to pray? So question 9 again. What word goes before wall to give the name commonly used in the West to refer to an ancient limestone wall in Jerusalem, which is also known as the Western Wall and is generally considered the holiest place for Jews to pray? Jackie said you're singing. Oh dear. Am I? You definitely have to sing somewhere, Jackie. I was singing 10 minutes ago. And finally, question number 10. Listen carefully. What is the connection between the previous 9 answers? Now, you need to look carefully at your answers, and you should be able to work something out there. So look carefully at your previous 9 answers and see what you can work out. No, he's just humming. Perhaps I should just type hello, Jackie, in the columns, and then I'll press the button and say hello at the same time and see whether they arrive at the same time. So I've just said hello. There we go. So that should be synced up with the hello I've just put in the chat. See how far you are behind everybody. It doesn't help. Right, do you remember we're looking for a connection between the previous answers? If you can get the connection, then obviously it'll help you with 1 or 2 that you are struggling with. Ian's just said hello. Hello, Ian. What are you on tonight then, Ian? Are you on a fine malt whiskey, is it tonight? Or are you on a beer tonight for a change? Ian Sharrett, he's on his bottle of Shiraz, I'm sure. Does like his Shiraz, doesn't he? He's brought one to every quiz, so that's quite a few bottles of Shiraz he's got through. In fact, I was just working out how many bottles of beer I must have had now. We're up to 100 quizzes this weekend. I normally have 4 while I'm doing the quiz, so that's 400 bottles or cans of beer, I suppose, in the last year. Right, have you got the connection, Ange? Does anybody need any more time, or everybody got a connection already? Just let me know in the chat column. Do feel free. I was giving you a little bit longer here. Right, been online just an hour now. Now, do remember this Sunday, it will be our 100th quiz, so I will try and come up with some interesting questions to keep us all going. It's been a year, really, isn't it, since we've been in lockdown, I suppose. What date did you say the pub's closed, Ange? I can't remember. Yeah, in March. What date was it in March they closed? 23rd, was it? So it's the 23rd of March last year that the pubs closed. They did reopen briefly, which wasn't too bad because we sat in the garden most of the time. And it was quite warm. Right, I'm giving more time, says Chris, more time, says PRS. So people may just need a little bit more time to try and work this out. So you've got 10 general knowledge questions there. Penny's saying more time, but don't think it will help. Look carefully at the answers you've got, Penny. Look very carefully at the ones you've got. Right then, everybody. We've got a few more rounds to get through yet, so this is only the halfway stage. So let's not worry if we haven't got that connection. Have a stab at it, put something down, something that may be appropriate. We'll see. Right then, pens down. Here we go. Here are the answers to the previous 10 questions, all about just general knowledge. This was a connection round. So according to the nursery rhyme, Monday's child, Friday's child is loving and giving. Loving and giving is Friday's child. So the answer should be giving. Number 2, it was Storm Dennis I was after. Storm Dennis, do you remember that? Storm Dennis. Number 3, it was the boy who cried wolf. Number 4, of course, that long-running slogan, do you love anyone enough to give them your last Rolo? Your last Rolo, of course. Number 5, Get Down on It was by Kool and the Gang. It was Kool I was after. That was his Robert Bell stage name. It's Kool. Number 6, of course, is a jockey. Now, that's derived from the Scottish word jock, which apparently means boy. Number 7, that 4-letter board game was Ludo, that frustration came from. Number 8, the common, the periundul, and the plantar. They're all types of things that I've got on my nose here. They're all types of warts, common growths. Number 9, it's the wailing wall. And, of course, number 10, the connection between the previous answers are sports. If you take the first letter off and replace it by another, you end up with, well, of course, you look at it. Giving, you put a D in, it gives you diving. Dennis, you put a T in it, gives you tennis. Wolf becomes golf. Roller becomes polo. Cool becomes something. I can't think off the top of my head. Jockey becomes hockey. Ludo becomes judo. Waltz becomes darts. And whaling becomes sailing. So well done if you worked that out, because that was tricky. Just by replacing the first letter of each of the words with another letter, you ended up with sports, which connected the lot. So we've got some great scores coming. John O'Rourke and the famous 5 clearly did very well on that round. They've moved on to 32 points. Well, it is his birthday. So 32 points. Well played, John and the gang. Hillary, Martin Davis and the Wheatlinks, they've done very well again tonight. Martin Davis and Tina, they're on 31. We've got PRS on 31. Michelle Gibbons and Charlie and James are on 30. Graham and Jane Gifford are on 28. Faye, she's saying 28 for me, and Jackie, well, mostly me. Ha ha. Home Alone 6, they're on 33 points. Well played, Home Alone 6. Giles has moved on to 17. That's looking a bit better, Giles. Ian Miller's moved on to 28. Pick and Mixer on 31. We've got Jed and Tracy on 28. Mike Yates has moved on to 25 points. Denise has now moved on to 31 with Penny Graham on 25. We've got the Quizzy Rascals have moved on to 31 points. Sarah, Russ, James and Joe, they've moved on to 26 points. Mick and Bev are on 29 points. Harry, Julie, Ian and his bottle of Shroud, they've moved on 8 points, and he's saying SH1T, 31 points. That's a bit of a shame. Georgie and Rory, they've moved on to 30 points. Well played, you two. The Teasers have moved on to 32. Chris Pickard's now moved on to 28, and Split the Difference have moved on to 32 points. So it's a cracking race at the moment. It does appear that the Home Alone 6 have moved into the lead by 1 point ahead of everybody. So well played, Home Alone 6 even, especially with that connection, because that was a tricky connection. Was that what you didn't get? Yeah. You didn't get the connection. Right then, of course, initial letter link, round number 4. These are 10 general knowledge questions where the answer to the final question can be spelled out by rearranging the first letters of the first words in the first 9 answers. We all get the idea, do we? Right, we've done it before, so let's see how we do. I've actually had to reboot the router, but I'm okay now. Excellent. Well done, Jackie. Yeah, it's not easy when it starts playing up like that. Sometimes complete restart's the only way around it, but never mind. I had it my end once, if you remember. I had to restart the computer this end because we had no sound one night. Never mind. Right, here we go then. Now, question number 1. Listen carefully. Now, do remember, you can work this out backwards at the end. So you can have a stab at this, but it's like all the questions. You can have a stab at them, and then you'll come and realise at the end which letters you've got the wrong way around. So question number 1, of all the countries to have won the FIFA World Football Cup, which has the smallest population? So question 1 again, of all the countries to have won the FIFA World Cup, which has the smallest population? Question number 2. This is pretty easy. Listen carefully. Who was Prime Minister in December 2018 when the UK government was found in contempt of Parliament for the first time in history? So question 2, who was Prime Minister in December 2018 when the UK government was found in contempt of Parliament for the first time in history? Question number 3. The 1995 film Clueless was loosely based on which Jane Austen novel, which was based on youthful hubris and romantic misunderstandings? Do I need to give you any more clues on that one? The 1995 film Clueless was loosely based on which Jane Austen novel, which itself was based on youthful hubris and romantic misunderstandings? Question number 4. There's 2 halves to this, and the first half gives you a big clue, so make use of it. Also the name of a game played on a 9-squared grid. What is the title of Mallory Blackman's series of novels that imagines an alternative history in which native African people had colonized Europe? So question 4 again, also the name of a game played on a 9-squared grid. What is the title of Mallory Blackman's series of novels that imagines an alternative history in which native African people had colonized Europe? Question number 5, I'm just after a colour. On the Graham Norton show, what colour is the chair that audience members sit in and tell a funny story, with the host having the option to pull a lever that flips the chair backwards? It's normally somebody in the audience that actually gets to shout at them, but never mind. So on the Graham Norton show, what colour is the chair that audience members sit in, or celebrities sit in, and tell a funny story, with the host having the option to pull a lever that flips the chair backwards? Question number 6, I had to look this one up to make sure this wasn't stupid, but never mind. What slang word for an alcoholic distilled beverage, especially inferior or illicit whiskey, is also the name given to the liquid produced during the making of a sourdough starter? So what slang word for an alcoholic distilled beverage, especially inferior or illicit whiskey, is also the name given to the liquid produced during the making of a sourdough starter? That should come easy for all you that make sourdough, I suppose. Question number 7 is a bit more of a history question, maybe a geography question as well. What was the largest city in Syria before the Syrian civil war, when many parts of the city were destroyed during a battle that took place there between 2012 and 2016? Not much of the city remains. So what was the largest city in Syria before the Syrian civil war, when many parts of the city were destroyed during a battle that took place there between 2012 and 2016? Right, I'm going to try the plum porter. Always a good choice at this time of the evening. Whilst I'm pouring it, I will read out question number 8. Which tennis player won the men's single title at the 2020 French Open to equal Roger Federer's record of 20 career Grand Slam singles titles? So question 8 again. Which tennis player won the men's singles title at the 2020 French Open to equal Roger Federer's record of 20 career Grand Slam singles titles? Question number 9 is for all you salty sea dogs like me. With a name derived from Old Norse, what name is given to the forward part of a ship or boat? Just a one-word answer I'm after for that. So with a name derived from Old Norse, what name is given to the forward part of a ship or a boat? And finally, question number 10. Remember, this is a one-word answer with 9 letters in it. The first letters of the first words in the previous 9 answers can be rearranged to spell what sensation, for which pyrosis and cardialgia are more technical names? It's something I suffer with occasionally, probably after too much beer, but there we have it. So the first letters of the first words in the previous 9 answers can be arranged to spell what sensation, for which pyrosis and cardialgia are more technical names? You can definitely suffer with it after too many of these, I tell you. Remember, that's a 9 letters, 1 word answer, and it's a type of sensation. Right then, I will give you a minute to try and work that out backwards, because if you can get the sensation we're after, then you should be able to get the letters. And if you can get the letters, you can work out if you've got any of the previous 9 answers wrong. I'm sure Roy knows that first one, that country with the smallest population that's won the FIFA World Cup. Now, how is the microphone performing? Is it a bit, has everybody realised that I didn't do this quiz on Sunday, that I've got a new microphone? Does it sound that much clearer? I don't know myself. Until I play it back, I can't tell, but never mind. I can hear myself speaking. I can't hear myself over the internet speaking. Hopefully it's a bit clearer. Faye, you're not supposed to give everybody the answer. Oh dear. Quickly retract the message, Faye. She just told everybody the answer. I've cured my Nick half a fresh lemon squeezed into a glass of water every morning. Sounds good to me. Oh, bugger lol. Michelle says cheers. Not at all, Faye. I took it, I read it. It's whether anybody else read it or not. What's that? It's always funny when somebody whacks the answer down for everybody. That's got to be good, hasn't it? It's nearly as funny as when I give them away. Thanks. What does that mean? Come on, Martin, speak English, will you? But it worked for me. We knew it. Well done. Well, it appears that a lot of people obviously knew that answer anyway before Pay put it down. So does anybody need any longer to work out the remaining clues, or have we got them all? You managed to get them all, Lunch? It was just a reflux action. Right, Roy, do you need any more time? Have your team got them all? Let me know quickly, in which case we'll march on. 2 more rounds to get through yet. That's Home Alone 6 at the top of the leaderboard at the moment. A quick answer there. Yes, quick, get on with it. You see, I'd have quickly got on with it. No, crack on. Right, okay. Here we go then. These are the answers to the previous round, which is basically general knowledge questions. 9 of them, the initial letter link. We started off with all the countries that won the FIFA World Cup, which is the smallest population. It was the first winners. That was Uruguay. Well done if you got Uruguay. That was a bit tricky, wasn't it? Number 2, of course, was Theresa May. We all knew that. Number 3, that Jane Austen novel, the film Clueless is based on, was Emma. Number 4, that I don't know how many people would have got that without the 9 squared grid. That was Noughts and Crosses. Noughts and Crosses. Number 4, of course, was the Red Chair. Number 5, illicit whiskey is known as hooch. It's also that liquid produced during the making of sourdough bread, apparently, or sourdough starter. Hooch. Number 7, that city I was after, was Aleppo. Aleppo. Well, I don't know if you got that, because that wasn't easy. Number 8 was Rafael Nadal. Number 9 is the bow of the ship, of course, the front. And finally, number 10, of course, which Faye gave us, it was heartburn. So well done for that. Well done, Faye. Heartburn, of course, but I don't really suffer much with heartburn. But occasionally, if I've been drinking too many citrusy beers, I get heartburn. Right then, let's have some scores in, see how we've all fared after that round. Georgie Lambert and Rory have moved on to 40 for the Yorkies. That's a cracking score at this stage of the quiz. Anybody in the 40s is doing well tonight. The famous 5 are on 42, however. Birthday Boy John's doing well tonight. Wheatlings are on 39. The Teasers are on 41. Pick and Mix are on 41. Michelle's on 40. Well played, Michelle, Charlie and James. We've got Paula Flynn and the Quizzy Rascals are on 41. Jane and Graham are on 38. We've got Faye, 36 for the Boobies, she's saying. Jen and Tracy are on 38. Ian's on 35. Sarah, Russ, James and Joe are on 31. We've got PRS have moved on to 41 points. Mick and Bev are on 38. We've got Penny Graham on 31. The Booby Prize girls have moved on to 34. Charles, big yes, on 24 points. Mike Yates is on 33. We've got Home Alone 6 and moved on to 43 points. Holy Garden gives me heartburn. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that gives me heartburn. Those, I don't know whether they're very acidulous. I've no idea, but they are very acidic, I'm sure. Split the Difference are on 42 points. So it's all there or thereabouts. So we've got Split the Difference on 42. We've got Home Alone 6 on 43. Wait a minute. Ian, he's saying Miracle. I was struggling with that. I think it's probably after Faye gave it away in the end there. 41 points, well played. Hobnobs, worst for heart. Are they? Hobnobs, bad for heartburn. Oh dear, I better not eat any of them. Right, so Ian's on 41. We've got Split the Difference on 42. We've got Denise on 41. We've got Home Alone 6, 43 points. I think they're the team to beat at the moment. Then we've got PRS on 41. We've got the Quizzy Rascals on 41. We've got Pick and Mix on 41. The Teasers are on 41. The famous 5 are on 42 points. Just a point behind Carol and the gang. Come on, John. And we've got the Yorkies on 40. So any team at the moment in the 40s, 41, 42, doing brilliantly. Right, next round. Here we go then. Famous people. These are 10 famous people you'll all know somehow. Let's see how many you can guess or you can actually know the answer to, of course. Question number 1. Which American holds the Guinness World Record for most tickets sold worldwide by a solo entertainer, selling over 33 million tickets for his magic shows? So which American holds the Guinness World Record for most tickets sold worldwide by a solo entertainer, selling over 33 million tickets for his magic shows? That's some going, isn't it? That's magic, that is. Question number 2, for all you boxing fans. In 1994, which former world heavyweight boxing champion launched his lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine? I was teaching my granddaughter today to keep her mitts up and teaching her about boxing. She was laughing more than anything else at me, but there you go. So in 1994, which former world heavyweight boxing champion launched his lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine? Question number 3, dead easy one, this one. Which former member of the Goodies is now an active and well-renowned ornithologist? So question number 3, which former member of the Goodies is now an active and well-renowned ornithologist? Sorry if some teams don't know who the Goodies are. Perhaps goes back a bit too far for one or two, but never mind. Question number 4. Too easy, this one. Which footballer received an expert panel special award at the 2020 BBC Sports Personality of the Year Awards after leading a campaign to extend the provision of free school meals for vulnerable children during the coronavirus pandemic? So question 4 again. Which footballer received an expert panel special award at the 2020 BBC Sports Personality of the Year Awards after leading a campaign to extend the provision of free school meals for vulnerable children during the coronavirus pandemic? Question number 5. Listen carefully. Which famous person crashed his Cadillac Escalade SUV near his home in 2009 and recently crashed his Ford Genesis GV80 SUV, suffering extensive injuries? I think the answer is learn not to drive. Take a chauffeur. Wouldn't it be more sensible? So question number 5 again. Which famous person crashed his Cadillac Escalade SUV near his home in 2009 and more recently crashed his Ford Genesis GV80 SUV, suffering extensive injuries? Silly sod. Question number 6. Recently in the news, who in 2017 succeeded his grandfather, Prince Philip, as the captain of the Royal Marines? So recently in the news, who in 2017 succeeded his grandfather, Prince Philip, as the captain of the Royal Marines? Dear God. Question number 7. I can believe this as well. Which well-known football manager once said, "If they made a film of my life, I think they should get George Clooney to play me. He's a fantastic actor, and my wife thinks he would be ideal." God. Oh, I've got the feeling he's a bit bigger, but never mind. So, which well-known football manager once said, "If they made a film of my life, I think they should get George Clooney to play me. He's a fantastic actor, and my wife thinks he would be ideal." Now, to be fair, that's said in English, and of course, this football manager wasn't English. So probably there's a bit in translation there, but never mind. I'm giving you a clue there, obviously. Question number 8. What nickname would you associate with both boxer Nigel Benn and Sean Wallace from the TV show The Chase? So question 8 again. What nickname would you associate with the boxer Nigel Benn and Sean Wallace from the TV show The Chase? He's the only one I'd really want to take on, to be fair. It's only because he's a little bit slower than the others. Sorry, no, I haven't. What about Hillary? Is this a famous men round? Sorry, Hillary. Wait a minute, it probably is actually. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Oh dear, there's another one. It wasn't supposed to be Hillary. Well spotted. Well spotted. Yes. All right, we'll call it a famous men round then. Question number 9. Listen carefully. Gina Davis and Quentin Tarantino both belong to a society with a Latin name meaning table. What is the name of this select society? We had this before at a quiz. I'm sure all our quizzes will know this. Gina Davis and Quentin Tarantino both belong to a society with a Latin name meaning table. What is the name of this select society? Jackie's saying I'd take on Mark. The problem with Mark, he's very fast. Very big-headed. You'd have to beat him in the head-to-head. That's what I'd like to do, beat him in the head-to-head. Take the £40,000 off him. And set him a hell of a total, so he's got to chase it because he makes mistakes if he's chasing a big total. And finally, question number 10. In 2015, Priscilla Chan and her husband released an open letter to their newborn daughter pledging to donate shares valued at $45 billion to make the world a better place. Who is Priscilla Chan's husband? Though quite why she hasn't taken his name, I don't know. Perhaps she has. So in 2015, Priscilla Chan and her husband released an open letter to their newborn daughter, pledging to donate shares valued at $45 billion to make the world a better place. Who is Priscilla Chan's husband? What's that? This quiz doesn't pass the Bechdel test. It begs the question, what on earth is the Bechdel test, Robin? Come on. Probably doesn't. There'll be some smart-ass comment coming up now. This quiz doesn't pass any test, to be fair. Right then, I did repeat that one, didn't I? So there we have it. There are 10 famous people. Most of them are men. One of them's the name of a table. You're right. More women, that's what we need, isn't it? I'll sort that out for you next time, Hillary, to make sure we've got more of a diversity. Okay, we'll just give you a second to get those sorted out. Pretty straightforward, I think, those, aren't they? The Bechdel test, also known as the Bechdel-Wallace test, is a measure of the representation of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man. The requirement that the two women must be named is sometimes added. All right. Dear. Clearly that round did not pass that test then, did it? Okay then, everybody, let's go back to the beginning of that round, see how we did. Come on. We had enough time on that. It was just general knowledge questions. That was famous people. Here we are. We started off with that magician. He sold 33 million tickets for his shows. That's David Copperfield. Number two, of course, it was George Foreman with his lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine. Probably wouldn't be very appropriate for a woman to advertise one of those, I suppose. I don't know. Question number three was Bill Oddie, of course. Bill Oddie. Straightforward, silly. Yes, if you know the answers, you're right, Ian. You have to come and join my team, Ian. Oh, dear. Question number four. Which footballer received an expert panel special award? That was Marcus Rashford, of course. Number five, that person that drove his two SUVs, well, the second one certainly into a ditch, rolled it over a few times and suffered some severe injuries. That was Tiger Woods, of course. Number six, recently in the news, who succeeded his grandfather, Prince Philip? That was Prince Harry, of course. Harry I was after. Number seven was Jose Mourinho, that football manager that liking himself. I think I should get George Clooney to play me. I got the feeling George Clooney's quite a bit bigger than Jose Mourinho. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Number eight was better known as the Dark Destroyer, Sean Wallace and Nigel Benn. Jenna Davis and Quentin Tarantino both belong, well, of course, Latin. There's a constellation in the sky called the Table, which is better known as Mensa. Mensa, of course, is that select society. Coming from the Latin from table for some strange reason, but never mind. And number 10 in the 2015, Priscilla Chan. Her husband, of course, is Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. He's probably the person that gives more shares away than anybody else I saw. $45 billion. It's a good causes, apparently. So there we have it. Oh dear. Clive said, I bought a toaster as a birthday present. I was told to get essential oils for the bath. I explained that that was what the toaster was for. Oh dear. Now you're being mean, aren't you, Clive? Right then, everybody, let's get some scores in. So if you're in the 50s, you're doing well as we go into the last round. So we've got PRS on 51 points. We've got the Wheat Links on 47 points. We've got Email on 42. Got Jed and Tracy on 47 points. Michelle, Charlie and James are on 49 points. Charles is on 31. Graham and Jane Gifford's on 47. We got the famous 5 on 52. We've got Clive and Janet the Teasers are on 51 points. Mick Roberts very well tonight, 48 points. As are the Yorkies doing remarkably well on 49 points. Harry, Julian and his bottle of Shad, they've added Teddy to their score on 51 points. We've got Mike Yates on 42. Sarah saying 41, 10 out of 10 on that round. Makes up a bit that terrible scores on the previous rounds. Oh, never mind. Well played, Sarah and the gang. Mick Roberts, 48 points. Paula Flynn and the Quizzy Rascals on 51. We've got Penny Graham, Penny, on 37 points. Chris Pickard's moved on to 45. That's a great score. And we've got Home Alone 6, 53. Thanks for a lovely night. We're quitting now while we're in the lead. That's fine. You could say you led right up until round 5 when the internet connection suddenly dropped out. So you didn't do so bad on the men then, Hillary. Pickamix on 49. Baby Prize Girls have moved on to 44 points. Denise is on 51. We split the difference on 52. Robbie's put, I always enjoy George Foreman playing the ukulele and singing when I'm cleaning windows. George Foreman, indeed. Right. Yes, I always enjoyed that. Okay, then. So it looks like the team to beat tonight, then. Home Alone 6 on a fantastic 53 points. They haven't dropped a point yet. However, they're going to in this last round. You see if they don't. They're quitting while they're ahead. We have 10 general knowledge questions. These are a bit more just general trivia rather than general knowledge. General trivia, as you know. Like how many footsteps would it take to travel to the moon, you know, all that kind of thing. Right, here we go then. 10 general knowledge questions. Let's see how we all fare. Let's see whether Home Alone 6 can hold it together. On 53, let's add 10 to that. 63, clear winners. There we have it. Here we go then. Number 1. In 2011, Prince William married Catherine Middleton in which London building? So in 2011, Prince William married Catherine Middleton in which London building? Do you remember watching it on the telly? I can't. I think we were out the country at the time. Probably the best place to be quite honest. I can't remember that, Ange. Where were we? Must have been somewhere. Question number 2. The iconic diver's watch, known as the Submariner, is a product made by which famous manufacturer? I'm sure John O'Rourke will get that straight away. So the iconic diver's watch, known as the Submariner, is a product made by which famous manufacturer? Question number 3. With a population of approximately 11.8 million, which is the most populous city entirely in Europe? And I presume they've put entirely in there because Istanbul straddles a continent, of course. So forget Istanbul. So with a population of approximately 11.8 million, which is the most populous city entirely in Europe? Question number 4 is for all you motor racing fans. What does the 500 represent in the name of the annual motor race called the Daytona 500? I'll give you the choice. Is it the number of laps, the number of miles, or the number of hours? So question 4 again. What does the 500 represent in the name of the annual motor race called the Daytona 500? I'll give you the choice. Is it the number of laps, the number of miles, or the number of hours? Question number 5. This is one Home Alone I'm not going to like. Which chemical element gets its name from the Greek word for stranger? So question 5, there's a bit of thinking in that. Come on. Which chemical element gets its name from the Greek word for stranger? Question number 6, they become very popular these days. Which Japanese word, now familiar in English, means picture character? So which Japanese word, now familiar in English, means picture character? I expect you've all been using this well, some of you have been using them tonight anyway. Especially Home Alone 6. Right, question number 7. I'm going to give you half a point for each of these. So half a point might separate the top teams tonight. Name. Wait a minute. I've made a cock up with that. Name the 2 stations on the London Underground. Oh, bother. Network. Sorry, I've made a right cock up with this one. I don't know who wrote that. Don't know who wrote that question. I can't have written that. I think I did. So let's start again. Question number 7. Name the 2 stations on the London Underground network starting with the letter V. There's only 2. I'll give you half a point for each. So name the 2 stations on the London Underground network starting with the letter V. No, getting your diaries out with your London Underground on the back of it. Or in my case, on your phone. I've got the London Underground on my phone. Don't know why. I rarely go to London, but never mind. Question number 8 is a good one. On the Beaufort wind force scale, which of the following is defined as having the greater wind speed? I'll give you the choice of 2. Is it a storm or a gale? So question number 8 again. On the Beaufort wind force scale, which of the following is defined as having the greater wind speed? I'll give you the choice. Is it a storm or a gale? Question number 9. This is one you'll like, Carol. Home Alone 6, we're going to get this one. What is the name of the title character in Disney's 1989 film, The Little Mermaid? So question 9 again. What is the name of the title character in Disney's 1989 film, The Little Mermaid? You knew that one straight away, didn't you? My daughter knew that straight away. Question number 10. This is one I've never heard of before, but never mind. I'm sure you get the answer to this. The Janka, that's Janka, hardness test measures the hardness of different types of wood. What wood lies at the bottom of the scale as the softest? So question 10 again, the Janka hardness test, which I've never heard of, measures the hardness of different types of wood. What wood lies at the bottom of the scale as the softest? I don't think we struggle with that one, would we? Maybe we would. I've never heard of the Janka hardness test, though. Anybody else heard of that before? Give me the thumbs up if you've heard of the Janka test. Right then, everybody. There we have it. It's the end of tonight's quiz. Let's see how we've all fared. It's all getting very excited into this land. It was so close going into the last one. No, Robin's never heard of it. I've never heard of it. So that's something that needs to put into memory. Robin, Janka test. What does it do? Yes, we might come across that one in the future. Okay, then, everybody. Let's see how you've all fared. We're going to this last round. I haven't dropped too many points because it was very, very close. So here we go. In 2011, Prince William married Catherine Middleton in which London building? That was Westminster Abbey. Well done if you got that. Number 2, the Submariner is a product made by Rolex. Rolex make the Submariner. Number 3, that city. That was tricky. The most populous city entirely in Europe is Moscow with 11.8 million people. Number 4, what does the 500 represent? That's 500 miles. The race is 500 miles long. It can't be 500 hours. That would be going on for weeks. But it could have been laps, I suppose. But it's 500 miles. Number 6, the chemical element that gets its name from the word for stranger. It could be foreigner. Xenophobe is xenon, of course. Xenon. Number 6, that Japanese word I was after, now familiar in English. Picture character is an emoji. Emoji, I'm sure we all got that. Many of us have been using those before or tonight. Name the 2 stations on the London Underground network starting with the letter V. Half a point for Victoria and half a point for Vauxhall. Number 8, on the Beaufort wind force scale, which of the following is defined as having the greater wind speed, a storm or a gale? That's a storm. That is anywhere from 55 to 63 miles per hour, as opposed to 39 to 46 for a mere gale. Robin Miller said, I would race 500 miles and would race 500 more. He's just pretending. Yes, quite. Number 9, what is the name of the title character in Disney's 1989 film, The Little Mermaid? That's Ariel. And finally, number 10, the Janka hardness scale. The softest of all woods, apparently, on that scale is the balsa. The balsa. Or balsa wood. So well done if you got that. I'm sure you get balsa. 1 or 2 there that might have tripped you up. So do remember it's half a point for each of the stations. So possibly. And whether you got xenon or not, we'll see. That's from xenophobia, I suppose, and fear of foreigners, strangers. Yeah, you can almost work that out, I suppose. So Jed and Tracy end up with 56 points. Well played, Jed and Tracy. Great score and a great finish. The Wheatlings end up with 53. Faded a little bit at the end there, Martin, but fantastic score all the same. Doing very well at the moment. Graham and Jane giving her on 54. Well played, you two. Sarah and the gang, well played. That's Sarah, Russ, James and Joe on 50 points. Well played, you team. Very good score. PRS end up on 61. That's a cracking score. We've got Giles on 39. Ian Miller ends up on 47.5. Clive and Janet the Teasers, 59 points. Paula Flynn and the Quizzy Rascals, that's not a bad score either. 61 points. Well played them. John O'Rourke and the Famous Five end up with 60. A cracking score, John. Well played and happy birthday to you. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Mick Roberts on 57.5 points. We've got the Yorkies, Georgie, Lambert and Rory, 56.5 points. Well played, you two. Penny Graham on 43 points. Well played, Penny. Ian Bottle of Shiraz, they end up with 10 on that last round. That brings them a fantastic 61 points. Pig and Mix on 56.5. We've got Michelle, she's on 55.5. Great score. Home Alone. Actually, where is Home Alone score? I've lost them. We've got the Booper Prize girls on 52 points. Well played, Jackie and the gang. Split the difference, end up on 62. That's a cracking score. We've got Denise on 61 points. Well played, Denise. Thanks for another great quiz, she says. Mike Yates ends up on 49.5 points. Sorry for my finishing tonight. No, you didn't. No, there was just a little hiccup in the middle there somewhere. Now then, come on. I'm looking for the... what am I looking for? I'm looking for the gang of... Who am I looking for? I'm not sure. Home Alone 6. Where's your score, Home Alone 6? Come on. How did you fare in that round? 61, 62, 63, or was it 60? Or somewhere around there. Home Alone 6. 61. 61. I knew we couldn't maintain a full house. Oh, dear. Never mind. Home Alone 6. That's a fantastic score from the gang. Well played, you lot. So it looks we got Home Alone 6 on 61 points. We've got Split the Difference 62, Denise on 61 points, Harry and Julian Ian on 61 points, the Famous Five on 60, Paula Flynn, the Quizzy Rascals on 61, and PRS on 61 points. So what a great quiz, very close in the end. It looks like it was stolen right at the end by Split the Difference. Obviously, knew their Vauxhall and their Victoria, I suppose, at the end there. So well done, everybody. And do remember, this Sunday, it will be our 100th quiz. Do come along and enjoy the quiz on Sunday night. We'll see what we can do. And hopefully we can come up with some new general knowledge questions that we've not heard before, even if there's going to be the odd one about things we've never heard before, such as the Janker hardness scale. I've heard of the Mohs scale, but never the Janker hardness scale. So there we have it. So good night, everybody. Happy birthday, especially to John tonight. And thanks for taking part in the quiz on your birthday, especially. And we will look forward to seeing everybody on Sunday night where we'll be doing the 100th quiz in lockdown. So look forward to seeing you all then. Good night, all, and stay safe.